Today I fucked up by not understanding that 3.5 grams can be a fuckload. This actually did happen within the last 24 hours, I'm still lying in bed trying to recover. So, weed has been legalized, yay Canada. Obviously, the first weekend after legalization, getting fucked up is in order. My girlfriend and I had a free weekend, kids weren't here, and that won't happen again for a while, which adds further justification. But we live in an apartment building, we don't want to stink everything up, so we decided to do edibles. I figured, hey, let's keep it conservative, never done this before, don't want to put too much in there, right? I mean, not that weed can ever be that bad, haha, it's just marijuana. Fucking harmless. So I spend the morning and afternoon decarbing 3.5 grams of MK Ultra and infusing it into half a cup of butter, which was then used to make brownies. Which were quite good. We cut this shit into about 15 equal pieces. Now, I am still at this moment struggling with the math, which is pathetic given that we spent 2 hours trying to figure it out last night. But, I'm pretty sure that works out to 232 milligrams per brownie. Apparently you should start with 10 milligrams. See how that goes. But on Friday night, we vaped through about 2 full grams and I didn't feel a damn thing. We started with 2 brownies each. 2 hours later, my girlfriend was fucked up. I was fine. So I had another one. An hour later, she could barely walk. I didn't feel it as bad as her. So, I had one more. That's 6:15, not even half the batch between us. Turns out MJ is a hell of a drug. Jesus motherfucking Christ. We spent about 6 hours completely fucked up. Oh my lord, I had no fucking clue that that level of impairment was possible from weed. My mind is blown. I could not talk properly, sipping from a cup was this big deal where my girlfriend, and I had to talk me through and encourage me, rolling over was this totally confusing repeated realization that there's a whole other half of this room to look at, wow. We were wrecked. About halfway through, it went from being a laugh fest to being a grim holding on. We just held hands and encouraged each other not to panic. My girlfriend thought she was dying, she was reciting her last will and testament to herself. She wanted to call an ambulance. None of this is hyperbole. We're both exhausted and sore from the twitching. The dry mouth might have been the worst part. It was incredibly intense, we had trouble talking because our mouths were so dry. We threw the rest of the brownies out. The smell of weed is going to make me nauseous for weeks probably. Too long didn't read. 125 pounds woman ingests half a gram of weed in brownies, 205 pounds man ingests almost a full gram. Both are amazed to discover that weed can in fact profoundly fuck them up. It way too much? Edit, thanks for the gold. And silver. And platinum. Kinda worth it. Edit 2, yes, it is a tragedy about throwing the brownies out. I honestly, sincerely hate the waste. But we couldn't even look at them this morning without our stomachs flip-flopping, and we absolutely could not risk the kids getting them. That would be unforgivably irresponsible. Edit 3, I did do research, I just didn't do enough. We have now learned correct math from the comments. You're supposed to dose edibles using the THC percentage. This stuff has been tested at 18%. So, using that estimate, with 233 milligrams of weed per brownie, she had 84 milligrams and I had 168. Holy fuck. Edit 4, I used the double boil mason jar method for about 60 minutes to decarb, then dropped a half cup of butter into the jar and let it boil for another 80 minutes. Every 10 minutes I topped up the water and shook the mixture around in the jar. There wasn't much smell at all. I can confidently state that this method works well enough to get a person high. Final edit, some important safety tips from someone who read the safety tips and didn't get it, and is now learning from hundreds of comments. For those making positive contributions, thank you. We're enjoying them. 1. They say wait at least 2 hours before having another. Wait longer. Like, a day. It is not worth the risk of having too much. 2. There's a general agreement that edibles are much stronger, and that even someone with a respectable tolerance for smoking might get annihilated. 3. There's a lot of stories here, where the impairment lasted days. I fucked up even bigger by not fully considering that. So keep that in mind. I don't fuck with edibles because they ain't got no off button. Snoop Dogg. When you trash talk the brownie, then the brownie trashes you. This brownie ain't shit. Brownie, bet. Watch this. Mom, when am I ever going to use math in real life? I think it's funny you bought weed named after the US Gov program that creates psychotic people for your first legal experience. Welcome to Thunderdome. Today I fucked up by accidentally dosing myself with LSD at work. Throwaway. Well, it was around noon when I ate my pasta. Shortly after that I found myself to be slightly off kilter and queasy but in great spirits. I initially attributed the feeling to that second cup of coffee I shouldn't have had. At 2 p.m. it was my hour-long lunch break, which I always use for some gym time. As I was walking out of the office I realized that this wasn't just the caffeine talking. The possibility that I was in fact tripping didn't even occur to me until this point, when realized how it could have happened, and sure enough, it did. Somehow, life finds a way. Saturday morning I had prepared some gummy bears for my friends using the translucent Tupperware lid as the backdrop. Some of the residue must have lived through the night. On Sunday I made a bunch of pasta, and started eating straight out of the Tupperware. I put the lid on and didn't think twice about it. Today I ate leftovers at work that must have been contaminated by the container. Or maybe I laid my fork on the lid, then licked that fork. Yeah. I'm honestly perplexed how eating the pasta could have dosed me, since I microwaved that shit for a few minutes, and it's my limited understanding that high temperature will often nullify the drug. It did though, and by the time I had walked to the gym I knew damn well what was coming my way. Well, anyway, I went to the gym and worked out pretty intensely for 40 minutes in an effort to blow off all the nervous steam and jitters. The workout was rather standard except for a brief moment where, lost in concentration, I started walking out of the gym, then got slightly disoriented when I didn't know where I was going, or why. I pulled myself together and took a cold shower, then took a nice long walk outside before I had to take the plunge. I did my best to act like a normal human upon re-entry. I cracked one joke that actually went over really well with half the office, before admonishing myself to behave. My behavior was normal except for when I forgot my co-worker's name during an introduction. We had a new team member start today and I had to give her a tour. I don't think she could tell I was fucked up, but I know I was sweating a lot and rambling. I now have another 50 minutes before I very nonchalantly walk out of the office, secret intact, and take a very long walk home. What a fucking Monday. Too long didn't read, accidentally dosed myself and had to spend the rest of the day pretending I was a normal, sober, middle-level manager at the office. Shit. And here I am thinking I fucked up for ordering way too much salad for a meeting. Now that will be noticed. Dude, you don't even work here. No, but it's really a nice ski mask. I worked with a guy that took acid and forgot he worked that night. It was awesome. I was the only one that knew. We worked at a steakhouse and I probably asked him to go grab me one potato at least 20 times. One of the best nights ever. One of my co-workers had a similar situation the other day. He was pretty normal except I would catch him staring at the salad greens a little longer than usual. Please give us updates on how you're going. For the laughs, and not your well-being, of course. 4 beers later, I'm coming down and it's time to make my way home. I left the bartender a sizable tip equals 3. If you guys want some advice, then I say, I plan on eating a sandwich. You know you've taken enough acid in your life if you can remain semi-functional when high. Should I be proud of this? Today I fucked up by falling asleep wearing VR headset, breaking my monitor, and making my parents think I'm dying. This happened about 30 minutes ago. It's 4 AM and I'm tired and stupid for this. I'm one of those people, where if I fall asleep I sometimes forget what I was doing before I went to sleep. So I was playing RE7 in VR, but it was getting kinda late, but I wanted to stay up and play anyways. I started to fall asleep, and just passed out kinda instantly. Then I woke up, my head feeling weirdly heavy. But holy shit, I just woke up and all I can see around me is a dark room with some tables, chairs, all I can hear are creepy noises and it's dark outside and I have no idea where I am. So logically I stand up from my chair, I didn't even check to look, but I'm pretty sure my in-game guy was standing, and run and scream. Somehow my arm got around my monitor, or maybe a cord died. I also ran into the wall, which made no sense to me because I wasn't even near a wall, and then it happened. I start to feel hands all around me, my mom, and the feeling of something coming or out of my earbuds that I didn't know were there, and the sound of my mom asking, "What the hell, are you okay?" She took the headset off of me, and I see the destruction I did to my monitor, and the small dent/damage to the wall. My mom laughed her ass off at me, and told me we will talk about it tomorrow. Too long, didn't read, slept with scary game on, thought it was my reality, broke stuff by accident and feel dumb. I really wanna put on a game where my life is good and sleep with it. I'm just picturing your mom walking into your room, seeing you bump into the wall screaming murder and flailing your arms around, and thinking to herself, I wish he was just masturbating like a normal boy. I wish he'd fuck our leather couch instead. Immersive reality. I get the feeling this isn't the last today I fucked up that VR gives us. Personally, I can't wait for the next one. Breaking the fourth wall. Hey. So far he only dented it. How does one fall asleep playing RE7 in VR? That game is absolutely terrifying. He's lying, he fell asleep after jerking it to VR porn, but he wanted to tell this funny story without admitting to that part.